Café Anyway. Look at that.
Mike's Daily Podcast.
Look at that over there. It's episode 2768, 2768. And Mike Matthews at Café Anyway.
Mike's Daily Podcast.
And Podcastro Valley, the last place on earth. And in Samaritopica, we'll get to some things that maybe you have heard on the radio or seen on the TV or read in your stream that you read. You're scrolling through the things that you read, and
Mike's Daily Podcast.
Mike has found a couple of things maybe you've missed. So here I am.
Mike's
with that
Daily
premise
Podcast.
to go forthwith.
Yeah.
Forthwith on this podcast with you today. Well, here's the thing. You've probably already seen the podcast picture today is of lovely lady friend and myself. Now, here's an interesting thing about this picture is, yes, probably when you're listening to this, it's on or around Valentine's Day. I just want to tell you, the two of us are very much in love, and we've been together for almost 6 years, and she's amazing. She's wonderful. And I think you need to, when you look at the funny things that drive you crazy about someone, you have to laugh. Check this out. This is hilarious. This is so cute. It makes me go nuts when she does this. I'll be in another room, let's say scooping Rocky's poop out of the litter box, okay? I'm in there, I'm head first, face down in the litter, in the cat excrement, and I'm scooping away. And yes, maybe this is a bit of a palpable description, but I'm going with that, right? And she'll go, oh my gosh, Rocky's so cute right now, look. But how can I look? You're 3 rooms away.
And here's today's podcast picture.
I'm in the middle of a very important procedure here. I cannot stop and scoop with the... I've got to look now, because, by the time you get over and look, they've stopped doing whatever cute thing they're doing. This pertains to babies and children and everyone else doing things.
Magnification.
It's really fun when someone's on their phone looking, oh my gosh, this is so cute. Look at this. You're 12 feet away. I'm in the middle of cooking dinner. I'm not going to stop everything I want. Now, sometimes I do. Sometimes I'm like, okay, this is very important. The late great Basil the Boxer. I have so many wonderful pictures of him. He is not the podcast picture today, though. This particular podcast picture is lovely lady friend and I. So see it at mikesdailypodcast.com. We were at a wedding. Kevin and Rosie got married, and we were celebrating away and had a great time. Got dressed up.
The word of dog.
Really look at the thing that quote unquote is a idiosyncrasy is the best way I can put it. That maybe you go, oh, they do this all the time. It drives me crazy. Like no one else. She drives me crazy and I can't help myself. It's probably the thing that is also what attracts you to them. I love the fact that she's so fascinated by all kinds of stuff. And she's incredibly positive. And you can go back, because this podcast has been on for 2,768 episodes. You can go back 6 years to when I met her. You will hear it in the podcast. I don't remember the particular name. Is probably Positive was probably the name of the podcast, because that's exactly, and I've been doing the one word name for the podcast episodes for, oh gosh, at least 8 years. And you can go back and find that episode. I'm like, I just found the most positive person on the planet, and she's beautiful, and I'm in love. I may not have said I'm in love right there because I had just met her, but yes. At any rate, I hope you find someone that you love, that you're with today, that you are in love with, let me back up and say that over again. Let's just say I hope you're with someone, and if you're not with someone, I hope you are on your way to meeting someone. How about that? Is that good? Someone that will help you in your life, that enriches you, that makes you happy, that you make happy. That's called love. And it's happening all the time, all around us. Meghan Markle and Harry. Meghan Markle has struck a new podcast deal with Lemonada Media. You remember she did a podcast with her husband for, was it Spotify? And then she ghosted. They did a couple podcasts and then they just stopped. I understand they're super busy, but you know, that happens with a lot of podcasters. Very few get up to 2,768. Hey, and I know I'm a daily podcast. I think I missed a day this week. To Monday or Tuesday was pretty crazy. Monday. I think Monday got really crazy. Anyway, Café Anyway. The thing is that Meghan Markle, the Duchess of Sussex, has formed a creative partnership with Lemonada Media to develop a new podcast series.
The Daily Haley. The almost Daily Haley.
I know I love podcasting. I, for the most part, love podcasters. Do I think this is an art form to brag about? No. To me, it's not. It's like if you were on the radio. I don't find that like something to brag about. Like people go, oh, you know, this DJ, this radio guy, he is a legend. Really? Radio and legend, that only worked up until the time Jack Benny died.
Mike's out of left field recordings.
Recording everything captures actions that will never again be repeated.
I'm not like, I don't really go all crazy for radio people. And now that we put cameras in our radio stations so you actually see the radio people, although that whole thing, as we go outside a Café Anyway, where we bring you Mike's Daily Podcast somewhere in Podcastro Valley,
Anyway,
the last place on earth, that old joke, he has a face for radio. That's changed quite a bit because a lot of people getting into radio started out in podcasting, and a lot of people that start out in podcasting don't just do the talk in front of a microphone thing with the headphones on and record it with some kind of recording software. They actually put up a camera because cameras are so cheap and they just video themselves, which I don't understand that. Putting a microphone in front of my face, I get it. That's cool. That to me is endearing. And I've always loved that. The concept of someone, just them, headphones, microphone, maybe someone calling on the phone. That's cool. But to be in front of a camera, and you know, they got the circular fluorescent thing going to make their eyes pop. That doesn't sound right. I don't want my eyes popping out of my head. But that's, yeah, they want that effect. So, as part of their partnership, Lemonada Media, and what I'm saying is podcasts for me is not the same as a podcast idea for someone in their 20s. They're thinking Twitch, they're thinking on the camera, they're thinking TikTok, they're thinking it's all video stuff and the audio is secondary. To me, it's all about the audio. It's what's being said. What's going on with your words and your sounds.
The Cutting Corners Corner.
The Cutting Corners Corner. But the birds and everything. Okay, so this partnership thing, it's behind shows such as Wiser Than Me with Julia Louis-Dreyfus. I have not listened to that yet. That's probably pretty good. We'll also distribute the first season of Markle's podcast, Archetypes, across all audio platforms and oversee ad sales. The new podcast series, which is currently untitled, will be hosted by Markle. Okay, of that to look forward to. Let's see if she ghosts that. I wonder if anywhere in this article that I'm reading from The Hollywood Reporter on MSN.com, if there's anywhere in here, if it mentions how she ghosted Spotify. Archetypes debuted in August of 2022 on Spotify as part of the multi-year exclusive deal inked between the platform and Markle and Prince Harry's Archewell Audio. The two parties, quote, mutually agreed to part ways in June 2023, with Archewell retaining the IP rights to the podcast. All right, maybe it wasn't a ghosting as in they just left. I had heard that they had stopped. They just stopped recording.
And now we return you to our regularly scheduled program with Mike Matthews.
Magnification.
Okay, well, Apple, every company wants to see...
Ginormous.
Wants to be seen as an artificial intelligence stock. That's the thing. That's the buzzword in the business world, if you didn't know. Everybody's all about artificial intelligence, AI. How is Apple positioned amid the artificial intelligence revolution? In June, at Worldwide Developers Conference, analysts expect Apple to introduce AI into the Apple Store with AI-powered phones to follow. AI will shift from being on cloud servers to being performed on the edge, which means to being performed right there in your mobile device.
The Fascinating Material Project.
An AI-driven iPhone, for example, featuring a revamped Siri digital assistant. Because why get rid of Siri? Google got rid of Bard. Now it's Gemini. Guess they made a commercial for it for the Super Bowl. Although the only Super Bowl ad I saw was I didn't get to see the Dunkin' Donuts one. I saw the one with the guys from Scrubs and the Aquaman guy. And then there's the gal from Flashdance. And they're singing the Flashdance song. That was kind of funny. Could prompt customers to replace their smartphones more frequently. This AI-driven iPhone concept. Apple customers are currently replacing their iPhones roughly every 44 months. I'm doing the math for you now. That is around 4 years? 3 years. Somewhere in there. If Apple can bring that down 1 month, they will sell 25 million more units, adding $7 billion to their revenue. And that's what they're looking at, is the dollar signs. And that's what Rob Black does, and that's where I got his information. He got that information, and I took it and gave it to you. And I produce his podcast, The Rob Black Show. And he does a radio show weekday mornings on AM 1220 KDOW, and he's also on local TV Monday through Thursday on Kron.
Magnification.
So now there is the other thing you probably didn't know about the Super Bowl. Or you probably heard this. Is interesting, and it's a whole this topic goes way beyond the Super Bowl and way into the future and way into involving you and I. And this is what this podcast gets to, is stuff that's I'm looking out ahead. And since I do this daily, I take a daily temperature check on society, on the world, and try and do a guesstimate of where we're going. And I'll tell you this much, my friend, we are too much into online gambling. It is too...
We love you, Mike.
It is everywhere. It is amongst everything we do. There are so many ads for it now. There is...
Mike's Matthewsman Park.
The front panel will close automatically. Please remain seated at all times.
The Marco Minute. The Marco Minute.
Should I read the text to you? Somebody who's a friend of Rob, his name is Tony. He does a live radio show Wednesdays at 2 on the aforementioned radio station. And somebody else usually produces the show, but I guess I'm going to be producing it tomorrow. So I just found that out. Okay. Right in the middle of everything. So we're gambling too much. It's being pushed to us in these ads on TV and in our phones and our when we're watching YouTube and on the radio. And there's a radio station in the Bay Area. It took over a very popular signal that at one time was the #1 radio station in San Francisco for years. And they got rid of the format completely. It was a talk format. And now they've switched it to a sports betting radio format. So they carry games, but they also talk a lot about who you should bet on and that kind of thing. And that's how big it's gotten. It's at the fourth radio market in the country. It has a format about it. Maybe it is also on New York, Los Angeles radio stations. I'm not sure, Chicago as well. But it's interesting. And it's going to be a problem down the road because it is an addiction and it's hard to shake. And I know because my dad had it. And, once upon a time, it was about betting on the horses. And it was COVID that really got a lot of people into gambling. A lot of people were just, Then it got so easy to do, and laws got passed and propositions passed to make it more and more easy to gamble across the nation on all kinds of things. And then this Super Bowl, the most gambling of all the Super Bowls on every possible thing. Woo! And this is an example. Reba McEntire, nicest lady. She's petite. She's funny. She's got the red hair and she's full of fire, and she's a pretty good singer. If you like that style of country music, she can really do a ballad and make you cry. I'm crying right now.
You will travel into the incredible universe.
Because here's your one last chance, Fancy, don't leave me. Oh, what was the other one that made you cry? The one, because the heart won't lie. You're the one with Vince Gill. The heart won't lie. Boy, I haven't heard that one in quite a while. Well, so she sang the national anthem. Good for her.
A fine article.
You silly, great, fat article.
And something else got her popular. Well, people were betting on how long it would take her to sing the song. The over-under was set at 90.5 seconds. She stopped and finished the song at 88.5 seconds. But she added a second, The Brave, to extend it to 95 seconds. So BetMGM honored both over and under bets, and everyone was a winner. Oh, isn't that a wonderful story? You know who did not win during the Super Bowl was the box office. It got sacked. Argyle, the one with Dua Lipa and the Superman guy, and the one that's isn't it Ron Howard's daughter and a couple of Jennifer Coolidge in it? No, the other one from the one that the TV show that sounds like Splits Creek. Her, Annie. Can't think of her name. Any rate, that movie rather, did not do as well. It only made $6 million. They were expecting more. Lisa Frankenstein. Yes, that's a movie. If you weren't aware, there's a movie called Lisa Frankenstein, and it made only $3 million. As weekend drops to current 2024 low, this past weekend, it only made about $40 million. Thanks to the Super Bowl. Meanwhile, Jeff Bezos' $2 billion stock sale last week came with an added perk. No state taxes. Yes, Jeff Bezos will save over $600 million in taxes by moving to Miami from Seattle, Washington. Bye-bye, West Coast. Hello, East Coast. Hello, basically, well, Miami isn't quite the South. But you're in Florida, you're in a red state. Welcome. Oh, but back to the blue state known as California. San Francisco, they're mad as heck and they're not going to take it anymore. A crowd set fire to a Waymo taxi. Those driverless cars, driverless tech. Tensions are growing about driverless tech and people are getting sick. A Waymo car, I think it was a Waymo car was the one, or no, it was Cruise. It was a Cruise car that hit somebody and wouldn't stop and kept going and dragged them. I believe I heard that story multiple times. I think it was a cruise car. But Beyonce, back to the Super Bowl, she announced Act 2 following a Verizon Super Bowl ad. She dropped 2 singles moments after the commercial Act 2.
Hey, kids.
And so that's going to be released March 29th. She's going to drop it. They like to say, hey, I'm going to drop my new album, as if they're klutzy, as if they just dropped,
It's me.
It's just not the verb I would pick.
Do-re-mi the clown.
But this is the thing. It's a multi-tier platform. People, when they pay all this money, $7 million plus on a commercial, they will then also make sure that they're doing stuff on social media to get the full bang for the buck, because they are spending a lot of bucks. Outside of Café Anyway, somewhere in Podcastro Valley, the last place on earth. Look who's here right now. Here. Hi, Mark. It's Benita the Rodeo Queen. How y'all doing? It's a Disgruntled Fiddle Player. Tell you what. What? My favorite Reba song is Why Haven't I Heard From You? Yeah, that's the one that talks about back when phones were landlines, and she's waiting by her phone and is asking, why haven't I heard from you? There should have been a flood, a landslide of mud. It had great lyrics. It was pretty funny. Yeah, okay. And then there was that song about the guy with AIDS. She thinks his name is John. That one was like, whoa, she's singing about someone getting AIDS. Ooh. Yes, that was a big song in the 90s. Reba had some big years. And of course, amongst the big years that she had, of course, the television show, the sitcom that still gets played in syndication. Look who else is here. Oh, my God, make you delicious root beer. Have some right now. Thank you. Oh, I can't wait to. Wow, this is going to be good. Root beer. Oh my gosh, what's in that? Tequila. Drink it right now. I'll cut you. Oh boy. Don't cut me. Tequila. Okay. That explains a lot. Maybe it's kombucha. It's hard to tell sometimes. But that's the podcast today, and we covered a lot of things, a lot of topicas here in Ameritopica and Café Anyway, the last place on earth. And if you would like to comment below, I hate that. Stop saying that. And if you like this, give us the thumbs up sign. No, I never do that. Even if I like your video, I don't give you the thumbs up. Sorry. Can't tell me what to do. But if you would like to call and maybe say something, well, I have a recording machine right here at Café Anyway, so call this number.
Call Mike at the Café Anyway hotline. Area code 510-228-4640.
And we'll play it back on the segment Emails from Email and your common not so comments. So thank you for listening to the podcast. I hope you enjoy it. And if you want to see some of the past podcast pictures or listen to the past shows or past interviews, I've done some interesting interviews, or see anything else, we got like even a radio station on the website. All kinds of things going on at mikesdailypodcast.com. And with more ways to reach me, like the email. For gosh sakes, I haven't even said the email yet. Why? I won't say it. I will leave it for Ariel to say it.
Mike's Daily Podcast is written and produced and performed by Mike Matthews. His podcast is super easy to find. Download or listen to his show and read his blog at mikesdailypodcast.com. Email Mike now at mikesdailypodcast@gmail.com. See you tomorrow. Bye.